Rims Gems Podcast, Episode 7. The show must go on. All right, everyone. Well, welcome. Quick, change of plans here. As you can see, I am not in the studio. Unfortunately, I tested positive for COVID, but the show must go on. So, how are you guys doing? How's the studio? Are you missing me over there?
I'm loving the big chair.
Yeah.
I think this chair was made for me. I think you might get the boot.
You got way more room over there, so I mean, I'm feeling good. I don't have you hitting me, so
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
happy. I'm happy over here.
Yeah, you guys look spacious. I'm a little bit jealous. Well, we will go over the past weekend. We discussed it was my bachelor party, minus 4,000 odds. That's where I got COVID. We were at the Encore Friday night, crushing it. Then BC, we went to the football game against Louisville. That was a very nice game. Reid, I don't know if you want to give a quick recap on that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we woke up that morning. Actually, it was the day before, 15.5. BC plus 15.5. I text everyone in the group chat, guys, grab it. Next day, what was it, Friday, 14.5. I'm like, guys, grab it. Game day goes off 13.5. It was a big swing for a line like that, right? So guys, grab it regardless. We didn't need the points because they won money line. But last episode, I think I brought up talking about first touchdowns, parlaying that with different things. So I hit Saquon first touchdown. Who'd they play, Kyle? Was that Sunday or Monday night game?
Yeah, it was against the Cowboys.
Yeah. Giants, Cowboys, Saquon, first tutty, plus 650. Parlayed with BC money line, which was 5-1. So I just put $10 to win 450, 45-1.
Nice hit.
Yeah, that's why we were going a little crazy during the game. But I mean, we smashed first half, spread, everything. It paid for the encore.
A little sidebar. When I was watching the game from home, and I had no clue where you guys were sitting, and I see, was it who got the touchdown? Was it Zay Jones?
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers. And he's starting to high five people, and I see this guy run down, and he's running over to high five him, and I'm like, that's Kyle. And I'm like, I text him, and I'm like, hey, are you sitting in the end zone? He goes, yeah, I was just down there. I was like, just saw you on TV.
Watching that, I mean, we were dying laughing, but Kyle jumped the pole. He looked like Troy Polamalu. I had no idea he could move like that. I don't know if it was the drinks and the green tee shots possibly, but that boy was moving, scaring all of us.
I pulled a muscle doing that, but it was well worth it. I made my ESPN or ACC network debut, so pretty excited. Unbelievable game. It's also so much more fun when you have a dozen people that all have bets on the game.
Same way.
And then it wins in that fashion.
Right.
Yeah, you can't beat that. That's high level.
Two things. One is Zay Flowers was up for catch of the year. He mossed someone in the end zone running right at us. That started the game off. Two of our friends, Goody, was getting a corn dog or something, came back in. What I miss? So
yeah.
We were dying laughing there. And then towards the end of the game when it was stressful, quarterback who we talked about, Phil Jerkovich.
That guy.
One of our buddies was with, Burns was with one of his friends at the 50-yard line. He's like, man, they really, his line hates him. And the only thing I made a great call was he reminds me of Martell from The Replacements.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves, they weren't blocking for him. He would throw grounding or get knocked down. His lineman wouldn't even want
that pass he threw behind not a pass, it was a fumble, right? I mean,
it was a fumble. Yeah. It was a scoop and score. Unbelievable.
Right. Yeah, I was like, what's he doing?
Hard to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
they won despite him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The vibe.
Yeah.
Vibes were 100.
He just kept going deep. He averaged 15 yards per pass attempt because he just kept lobbing it up deep. That was and it was working because, Zay Flowers is unbelievable.
He's the man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, great weekend. Great weekend. I don't know if you guys saw this. I mean, we're a gambling podcast, right? We focus on sports betting for the most part, but we have our fair share of poker knowledge.
Oh yeah.
Dad, I don't know if you saw this hand. It's been rocking the poker world. The Jack 4 versus 7-8. Girl calls the guy down for hundreds of thousands of dollars. It
happened last month.
No, over the weekend, but it's fine.
I think it was last month, and now it's just getting play.
possible.
Yeah,
if that's
yeah,
the
yeah.
case.
No, it's
Okay.
getting play now.
But it's starting to rock the poker world in terms of like, was that cheating? Was that not cheating?
There might be a buzzer on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so it fascinating. And I think I just wanted to touch on it, not to give our opinion, because I've seen every opinion from every single person in the world over this, and it's just getting nauseating of, okay, no one knows the truth. No one's going to know the truth. But I wanted to touch on it because we have played poker forever. I remember when you were hosting the games as Uncle Daddy with Todd and all his friends, and me and Reid are 9-10 years old making a little run there.
Yeah, remember when you won the tournament, you got to write your name on a poker chip, and then that chip that chip would roll around. That was fun.
I think one of my regrets from Vegas was not playing a World Series of poker event. Even one of the smaller $1,000 ones or whatever.
There's still time. There's still time. There's still years left.
Sure.
That's on my bucket list.
Like growing up, we would play Absolute Poker, Poker Stars. Like I remember I would go to Cody Bernard's house and we would play AP and just do like bring a laptop and just MYA legend, by the way, right there. Gotta give a shout out.
But it's like all we did during COVID. It's like how we survived the shutdowns and everything. We were playing online poker, all of us. We had a phenomenal group, and it was like we'd have tournaments 3 times a day, and it was like the only thing you had to look forward to was those online tournaments.
Not for nothing. The last 2 I played, I won on those. Yeah. On the telephone.
Yeah, those were fun. Let me tell the quick story about when we first moved to Vegas and at Planet Hollywood. Me, Kyle, and Casey signed up for a charity poker tournament against like pet abuse and stuff like that. I think it was like a $300 buy-in. First place got a main event buy-in for $10K. Bunch of players, like smaller names, like even like Dutch Boyd was at my table, or his girlfriend. Long story short, Kyle, like 15, 20 tables probably. So Negreaunu was there. Like there were some big name players at the time. This was 2016 probably. But I made the final table. Negreaunu was there with the WPT Player of the Year, which I forget his name, but he was like high level player. And
that's pretty cool. I forgot that.
Yeah, and then Alan Cunningham too, which is also he's a legend.
Yeah.
So when there were 2 tables left, I was with Negreaunu, and he had like a bottle of whiskey, just passing it around, drinking. We were drinking wine, everything, having so much fun because it was just a charity event,
Yeah.
Just good vibes.
He seems like a good guy. It's not like like Phil Helmuth.
No, great guy.
Phenomenal guy.
But so I'm playing at the table. There's like 7 left. I'm like, oh my God, I have a chance to win 10K, whatever. I got the hand I got knocked out on was with Negreaunu and Alan Cunningham. Alan Cunningham went on to win the whole thing. Yeah. Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong. I shove with 7s. Cunningham had ace king suited, and Negreaunu had like a suit like Jack Queen or something.
I thought it was Jack 10 suited.
Yeah, Jack 10 right along that, and I was ahead on the flop. 7s were strong, but I remember Cunningham had a flush draw, and I'm like, one time let me win against these 2. Because I didn't win a pot against them the whole time. I didn't have any chips. Like, I was scared.
On the river?
No, turn loss. So, I ended up losing to both of them, so I had the third best hand. But that's nothing. That's something I'll never forget. Kyle was there on the rail.
Going boom,
boom, boom, boom. It's kind of going boom, boom, just telling the story. I'm reliving it. But that's my poker highlight.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun just watching. I can't imagine playing. I remember I was watching it, having a great time too. One of those charity events because they're all so relaxed. They're like hanging out, like you said, drinking whiskey and stuff.
They don't care.
Just vibing out.
We're like stressed. I have like Kyle and Casey on my shoulders, and I'm like shaking, touching my chips, call, fold.
I don't even think it's the money aspect at that point. It's just like I want to prove that I can hang with these guys, and that's what it comes down to. Yeah. But that's our poker story. We're always looking for games. So if any of you out there listeners have a home game going on,
let us know.
Comment below.
Put it in the comments.
All right. Well, now the reason we're here, the contest. Another successful week for one of us. I am officially cashing. I am in 75th out of 4,074 people. So I feel
congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a great start.
I will not be settling because I know that this thing's a marathon, and I can assure you if you go back and look at who cashes at the end of the year, I bet you very few of them will be the people at the top of the leaderboard right now because this thing is a marathon, and we're 20% through right now. So
If you go 0 for 5 this week, you're not going to blame COVID, are you?
no, and that's something that you did. I want to make sure that's addressed to the audience right now, that you blamed your illness, whatever. I have COVID. I'm fighting through. I'm here, blood, sweat, tears. It doesn't matter. I'm here to bring winners to the people. That's what I do.
It's a good
To
move.
date, I am 15-5 after a nice 4-1 week.
That's a good
That's
number.
a good start.
Yeah.
Started 3-2 and now 3-4-1 weeks in a row. We'll throw up the recap right now of all three of our picks and run through those quickly. The 4 winners. So I started the day actually with the Saints, double doink, very tough L.
I was with you. I know the feeling.
50% of the pool too had the Vikings. I felt like I had the pick because we needed it so bad.
Yeah, I feel like I'd be top 50 right now if that one had come through, just because everyone else had it.
100%.
But the 4 wins, the Chargers, that was a little sweaty. Cardinals pretty comfortable. Raiders also a little sweaty late, and then the Chiefs just look like prime Chiefs. So a good 4-1 week. I'll pass it to you guys.
I mean, we spoke on the phone after the 1 o'clock games, and we weren't going to come here.
We were going to wear bags on our head, and I was prepared to do it because I was 0-3, and I had the Patriots. So I was staring at 0-4. I was like,
yeah. I mean, I was fighting up against it with my 2 favorite teams, the Commanders and the Bears. Both were down 5 for so long, getting 3.5. How much CLV can I get? The spread, the Giants goes down to 2.5. The Bears goes down to 2.5, and the Commanders goes down to 3. And I have 3.5. I'm like, come on, this is great. And then I need 1 drive at the end of the game by the Bears, and Fields is bad.
he is bad.
But
I think that's what it comes down to. When you play dumb games, you win dumb prizes. And sometimes when you take all of these bad teams, you're destined for a week like this.
It's hard to blame the quarterbacks when you know they're poopy.
Let's say one thing. The books made out this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So guys like you should have made money this past weekend.
Well,
Your betting style.
I take a lot of underdogs.
I did agree with it. I saw that Sportsbook took a net loss this week. A lot of favorites came through. So keep that in mind for your picks this week, because I think it could be a wild week in terms of
wild week.
some of the outcomes.
What were my other 2 losses? I tried.
So I have yours. You had Saints, which was a loss, the Lions, and the Browns at 1 o'clock.
Right.
Both.
Okay. I got to go off on the Browns a little bit here because this is. I talked to you this weekend about this too. I've had the Browns twice. They lose to the Jets in an epic game, 1 in 2,000 games. And then this game, they're on the 4-yard line, 4th and goal from the 4, with Jacoby Brissett to start the game. I'm like, kick it. These guys in their analytics, if they kick the feed, you're up 3-0, you're kicking off. What happens is they miss it. The other team drives the length of the field, gets the touchdown. All momentum shift, and Browns are chasing the rest of the game.
So
they did take the lead, but
to comment on analytics, I think it depends on the team, because if the Chargers are there, you want them to go for that.
Right, but I'm saying quarterback.
The Browns should not, a run-heavy team should not be going for that.
Right, and with the quarterback. Who's your quarterback? I think that plays a huge part in it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And the Browns have just been, he's been screwing up on that for a while.
Fun fact, I wore a Browns Baker Mayfield jersey to the BC game, and 100 people were like loving it.
Were they?
Like shocked. They were like,
it was insane.
Because
they're like,
because the fans in Carolina are booing him out of town.
Yeah.
He's on a short leash. And on the Lions game, come on. That defense, they're 35 points. They're scoring 35 and giving up 35.
I singled Seattle, if that means anything.
Yeah.
Lions laying 3.5 is never.
Who would have thought Seattle would be in first place?
Geno Smith.
Dallas 3-1. I was wrong. Oh, and on my player prop bets, when I always talk about when I'm doing well. Robinson, they are not getting him the ball. That looks like a big L for the Rams.
Yeah,
he can't. They're not throwing. They're throwing every pass to Cooper Kupp.
He's catching him. No one can guard him.
But he's getting like 16 targets a game, and I saw that when he gets over 15, they're like 2-8 in that span because defenses can key in on him. Take this 5-yard pass, sure, but A lot easier to shut down one guy
But
in that situation.
I almost
so.
took the Cowboys this week, and I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch in the game? Did you see Robinson's 1 yard out route to the left there? Just like a little 1 yard pass.
right.
Like
I'm
they gave him nothing to work with.
Yeah.
And he caught it for 1 yard.
I think he had like 7 catches on the year.
Right,
through
that's
4
what I'm
games.
saying. I'm like,
Close.
okay, that'll be an L.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
My other L was the Steelers, which they were up 20-10, and then Zach Wilson just grittied in my face and was just an L for me.
Who's the quarterback for the Steelers?
Pickett.
So your losses were Pickett.
Well, it was Trubisky.
Who was the other one? The Washington
Fields.
quarterback. And okay.
Yeah.
And Wentz.
Geez, that's a shocker. It's a shocker that those teams lost.
It doesn't change a whole lot this week.
This is another week.
Yep.
You know. So what are we?
I
We're
would
two.
like
I'm 2 under 500. You're over 500.
I'm 12 and
at least.
8.
Yeah,
Very-
so you're still in the
very,
ballgame.
very comfortable.
I'm climbing that hill. I'm not giving up. Never surrender.
So I have
Like that Guardians movie with
Guardians of the Galaxy.
the other one with Tim Allen. Never give up. Never surrender.
Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
It's a great
Yeah.
movie.
It's an underrated
Severus Snape's in that movie
movie. There's a
too.
lot of good
Yeah.
stars.
So I've went 4-1, 2-3, 4-1, 2-3. That equals 12 and 8.
Yep. No.
You-
No. That's
You're like
still
a
above
roller coaster, you know. You want to start getting some consistency in that 3-2 every week. Makes you feel better than the 1-4, 2-3 swings.
I
that-
agree.
I was never so happy to get 2 and 3 because like I
Yeah.
said, 0 and 3. I'm like, you know, it's like if you're at the casino and you're winning money and you're up like 800 and you leave with 100 and you're like, oh, all right. Whereas if you're down 800 and you only leave down 100, you're sometimes happier.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Oh, yeah.
Yep, 100%. I think any gambler can relate to that. I also think that's the issue with, or the risk reward of taking a Thursday game or the London game is you're starting your week out either, I'm
know.
cloud 9 1-0, or here we go. You know,
I
I'm up
love that
against it.
9:30 game though. I sat in front of the TV all day. It was awesome.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a full day
Awesome.
of football.
That was a solid 13-hour session, and I was coming back from the bachelor party. I was
know.
hurting.
I know.
Googly eyes.
I figured you
like-
guys would be napping.
Yeah.
There
was
was
hard to
some
say,
partial naps.
Yeah.
There was.
So on your note, real quick about the Browns going for it, I would like to just touch on the Ravens and the John
Same
Harbaugh
thing.
decision,
Same thing.
because fourth quarter you're at the
Well,
you're at the
yeah.
2, or I just don't. I think what frustrates me is he just kind of blames the analytics without
Right.
like providing the analytics,
Yeah.
and it's a bit frustrating because I am a guy who believes in the analytics and the numbers, and it's like, well, you can't just say that as a blanket excuse. You got to like go into the numbers. You
But
know?
the
and that's what
momentum of
frustrates
that
me.
game, though, like with the Bills coming back, they had all the momentum. If he, I don't know. I don't hate the decision there.
A lot of people
But it's-
didn't. I did. That's at least that's him.
And you have
or
Le-
at least if you're not gonna score the touchdown, don't throw the pick. Because instead of
Exactly.
getting the ball at the 2-yard line, they got it at the 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the decision.
Lamar
Hey,
make it
speaking of
happen.
okay, on the same vein, Belichick in overtime, not going for it on what was it, 4th and 4 from the
Yeah,
midfield. What
midfield.
It seemed to me like they were playing to lose that game by 3.
was-
Like there was
Yeah,
no other way.
I didn't care because I had the W at that point, but I'm like, come on, you could win this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that he wanted to tie. I think that
Yeah.
was it. He was playing for a tie, and I like, hey, I'll get love here if I tie. Now, on that note, I had the survivor pick as the Packers, and it's very weird that I was never concerned at any point that I'm going to be eliminated. I just like
I think
felt,
that's because you
I
were
don't know,
hungover.
the way
I think
that-
if you had a clear head, you'd be
Probably
very
was.
concerned.
Yeah, I was
that-
torn
that
because I was
extra confident.
I was
Yeah.
rooting for the Pats so hard, but I know you had him in the survivor, so that game that was not fun. We gotta root
Yeah,
for the
it was-
Pats so we can take the big money line parlays. But
It was difficult, and if the NFL is listening to this podcast, which they should be, we need to figure out the play clock situation. You can't be letting it's so judgmental, and it's like, oh well, it went to 0, 0, 0. Oh, here's a flag, and it's like, why is there not just a buzzer, right?
Exactly.
And it's like, oh, it hit 0, I get
a
buzzed.
horn goes off in the
Right.
arena. Anything.
Right? No, it goes off with the ref.
Yeah.
You know, okay, got to throw the flag. The buzzer went off, and he hasn't snapped it yet. You know,
Yeah.
they look
It just-
up. They say there's the ref is looking at the clock, and when it turns to 0, he looks down to see if it's snapped. So even right there, if it's 0 and he's looking, it's just getting snapped. It's not a flag technically, but on the one he threw the touchdown, that was 3 seconds.
Everyone moves their head like a different pit. Like if it was Kramer, it would go up in a second. Like there's too much craziness with that.
Yeah, for being 2022 and having the technology we have, there's no excuse for that.
Agreed.
Yeah.
On the same
People
vein,
talk
did you
about
see not Jason Bourne. What's his name? Bourne, the receiver.
Kendrick Bourne.
I like Jason Bourne better.
Yeah.
When the guy had a shirt full of him on that play.
Oh yeah, holding
on the third down play. Mm-hmm. When it was a,
it was the refs in Lambeau.
Right, they didn't call it, but
they didn't want to hear it from the fans. But
what about this week?
So
are we going this week?
This week, yeah. So we'll throw the spreads up right now of all the games this week and dive through. I think there's 4 home underdogs, so a lot of road favorites. And if you ask me, we already touched on it, but sportsbooks took a bath this week, and I think this is where they come back and they're going to make some money. So keep that in mind with your picks. Would you like me to start?
Of course.
Yeah,
you have the floor.
Okay.
4-1. You're the leader of the pack.
15-5, 75% chance winner. So as I read each pick, just remember there's a 75% chance that pick is going to hit on every single one. Looking to go 5-0 this week, so keep that in mind. First game starting out, the Houston Texans catching 7.5 against Jacksonville. Second pick, the Buffalo Bills giving 14.5.
Woo!
Against the Steelers.
Big
number. The Washington Commanders plus 2.5 home dog.
Oh boy, this is the week he falls.
San Francisco 49ers.
It was the COVID.
And then lastly, the Raiders plus 7.5 against the Chiefs.
That could happen.
So,
hey, who was the second to last pick?
The 49ers.
Oh, that's a solid.
That
Raiders
slipped through the cracks there. I love that. They always play.
They beat them last year.
Yeah.
In Kansas City.
That's always a good game. Kind of
They beat them.
kicking myself.
They played twice, and both the spreads were 7, and they beat them, and then it was close. And I feel like the Raiders have gotten better, and the Chiefs have gotten worse. Though the records may not depict that, and
Chiefs coming
we're
off
seeing the same number.
Chiefs coming off a big win too.
Well, exactly. We'll find out about your Houston. I don't know. I like Jackson. I think they're going to be pissed that they lost last week.
I think this is one of those moments that you kind of need to reflect at the preseason of like, okay, is Jacksonville really favored by 7.5 right now? Like, I know they've played great, but this is still Jacksonville, and
It's
7.5 point favorites just seems like an awful lot.
It's just.
Let me ask you this.
Sorry.
Who's would you take if the Chargers played Jacksonville?
Chargers.
Okay. And the Chargers were only laying 5.5, and now you're getting 7.5 against Jacksonville. It doesn't add up to me.
I
think
no, it could, but I'm on I looked long and hard at Jacksonville just because I think they want to transform the franchise, and I think the division is up for grabs, and they're not looking by any teams, is what I'm thinking.
Texans were going up and down the field in 2 seconds against the Chargers.
Yeah.
After they were down 27-0. I know it's that
So did Jacksonville when they played the Chargers.
No, I think it's going to be a close game. I like that play for you.
I think the sketchiest one I have, the two,
Commanders.
the Bills given 14.5 is
the
a
Commanders?
big number.
You're riding Wentz again like your brother usually does.
Titans are coming off a big win against the Colts. It's a good spot. I don't know. But
Brian Robinson is back, the running back, and now they've played the 2 best rushing defense in the Eagles and the Cowboys. Now they go against Titans, who rank 29th against the run. I think if Washington establishes the run, Wentz is going to be able to do the play-action bomb and get some pass interference calls and move them down.
Wow, that's a good strategy.
Come on, refs.
I think the Commanders are. I mean, I'll take it next here. I have the Commanders also.
Oh boy.
I mean, I have to. Let's just get.
I hope Todd takes a different team. I don't want all 3 of my sons with an L on this one.
For everyone out there, begin to start throwing trash at the screen when I read these picks. So it gets worse. We'll start with the Commanders plus 2.5 against the Titans. Love that money line. Honestly, Sadly, I would have taken a -2.5 in that spot. I don't know why. Bears +7.5 against the Vikings. I was doing a little research.
What? Bears?
Bears +7.5.
Jesus.
Listen to this. Last year, the Bears played the Vikings. Fields threw for 285 and a tutty. Kirk Cousins threw for 87 yards.
Monday Night Football.
The Vikings
Prime time.
The Vikings had 150 yards in that game. They still won by 8. But if Fields is throwing 285,
Fields is figured out. He ain't throwing 285. That's
Well,
like
you
Danny
gotta-
Dimes played. Danny Dimes, his first game ever at Tampa, he threw for like 350. He hasn't thrown for 350 since.
Vikings have looked good. They've looked bad.
Well, I think. All right,
Don't forget- Don't forget they're flying home from London too. So
Don't forget
not-
Fields sucks. He doesn't pass.
You got no love for Fields.
I
+7.5. So we're on Bears and Commanders. I'm going to say 2 of these other ones to get the people going a little bit. Going back to London, Packers -8.5 against the Giants.
Yeah, I like that. I almost took them.
I think that could be a blowout.
No, Jones playing hurt.
And then Tyrod Taylor as your
Out.
backup, and
He's
then
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Saquon running quarterback.
Right.
That'd be fun. And then Buccaneers -9.5 against ATL. So I got Packers Bucks kind of going for those 2 big blowout games. Cordell Patterson's out for the Falcons, their only source of yards.
Hope Tom's not sad over his divorce.
No,
and not
that's
thinking
gonna
about
fuel
the
him.
game.
That's gonna
Is he
fuel him.
fuel him, or is he like
No, he's going to be
So-
he's going to throw for 5. Tom.
2 stats on that game. Atlanta Falcons, the only team that's undefeated against the spread, 4-0.
There's
This
2.
point. And then Tom Brady has not lost 3 consecutive games since 2002. I was 10.
He's going to be he's going to be fired up. And then this one's bad, but I'm going against you, and first time in 5 weeks I'm going against you, taking the Panthers +6.5 at home. The ultimate buy low, sell high.
So I can acknowledge why you made the pick.
I appreciate that.
That is the spot is to take Carolina. But I think that this is one of those games that just, when you look at the matchups on the field, Baker gets every pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. He can't make plays. He can't extend plays. He's probably been the worst quarterback in the NFL through the first month. If San Francisco gets any sort of a lead, I don't trust Baker to move the ball downfield, especially against that defense.
That's like a 21-6 game.
Can we all agree
Yeah.
that the Panthers defense is pretty legit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And Jimmy
solid,
G was throwing some absolute darts. I was like, this guy looked like a stud against the Rams. And then surely the second half, he couldn't throw the ball. He missed 4 I saw him miss 5 passes in a row, easy passes.
Carolina is quitting on their coach, and the fans are booing. They want Darnold in, who they booed off last year. So
Hey, Darnold's not that bad, but hey,
he's not ready yet. So your 3 quarterbacks. You have Wentz, you have Fields,
Baker,
and Baker Mayfield.
and
That's,
then 2 goats though.
yeah.
And
So
so, yeah,
2 and 3,
you
all
have
right.
top and bottom,
Right.
no in between.
All right, I look forward to
4-1.
seeing. You might be in remote next week saying you're sick, or you'll be sitting here with a bag on your head.
4-1.
All right, who do I have? Who do I have? I have the Vikings.
That's
who
against
going
me.
against you. I'm just looking at it as the Vikings beat bad teams, and they're at home, and he's not playing in prime time.
Coming back from
Monday,
London.
1 o'clock game. I look at them.
They'll win by 7.
I look at them winning by 17. Then I have the 49ers, who you took.
You're against me.
I'm against you again. I'm with Kyle on that one. For every reason you said,
The opposite.
right. Frisco's.
Frisco's for real, right?
Yeah.
Because they just beat the Rams.
No, they're for real. For real.
They are. Okay.
Jimmy's getting some, he's got a few games under his belt now. I took Miami. Miami over the Jets with the backup quarterback. 3 in the hook, but if you're a good team and you want to stay up top, you win this game and you win it convincingly. I think
You got Teddy.
Teddy going with his weapons. The wide receivers are just too good of a match. I see them winning by 7-10.
That game's at Jets, right?
Yep. Who's my other two? Oh, you don't have them?
I know you're
Nope.
against me on 3, so
Right.
you probably have
Did I
the
name all three?
Titans.
Tennessee, the Tennessee shirt that I'm repping. Yeah.
Yeah.
For every reason that
Raiders, Bengals. I know
Bengals.
you like those two.
Bengals.
Yeah.
Bengals, he has 2 400-yard games. No, 3 in his career. 2 of them were last year against the Ravens. Burrow owns the Ravens.
What's that number?
3.5.
3.5.
They're getting points. They're
3.5.
getting points, and I think they're coming along nicely. It wouldn't surprise me if they win outright.
That game will be all over Red Zone.
No, it's on at night. Oh yeah,
Sunday night.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Sunday
Thank
night
God.
game.
We've
Sunday
been,
night.
me and Kyle have been
Yeah.
very upset with
Oh,
Red
yeah,
Zone.
no.
I think
Yeah,
everyone
last
has.
week was the same thing.
All you saw was Bills, Ravens.
Right.
Didn't have
Yeah.
any skin in the
There-
game.
No one took
There was-
Dallas, huh? I was
No,
thinking
no
hard.
Dallas.
I was thinking hard on it just because
I really like the Colts on Thursday, but
Well,
Taylor's
Jonathan
ruled
Taylor's
out.
So
what?
both
Jonathan Taylor's out
both,
for the
both
Colts.
running backs are out. They
Yeah.
don't even feed
Yeah.
them.
yeah.
What about your
That's
gem? I'm going off the board with my gem.
Reid, you have the floor first.
My gem is Bears 7.5. It's my favorite number.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Raiders. I think Raiders keep it close. I wouldn't be surprised to see them win outright. So I'm taking the 7.5. That'll be a 1-possession game. Who has ball last?
I'm doing one that's not on it's an under-over because I just have to give the people of, we got like Mark Whitney in Tennessee. We have people from all over the country watching us. You know what I'm saying? Arizona,
Yeah.
California, New England. So I want to give this and I think you want to take it hard. And when I say hard, I mean hard. And the number's only going up. It started at 45. It's now at 46.5. I think the line should be 53. So there's quite a bit of play.
Okay.
The over in the Patriots Lions. Lions score on everybody and they can't stop anybody. First team ever to score 35 and give up 35. I don't see how that game is not. Because if the Patriots run, they're going to score. They're going to score off them, and I don't see the Patriots stopping them.
I will say you have a history with totals and doing this, especially in college.
Well, college is different.
So
ballgame.
I cannot comment, but I would appreciate the under to be played.
Did either
Because-
of you think about taking that game, either side of it?
Oh, I
Because that
thought-
game was
yeah.
so sketchy for me.
Yeah.
No.
That's why I'm loving the over, because
I-
I'm like, I can make a case both ways.
Yeah, I can't. I can't. I don't know. I know Bill's going to try to, just like you did with Green Bay, run the ball, try to keep it,
I know, but
short
if you're
game.
getting Detroit's giving up 5 yards of play on the
Yeah.
run. So,
Yeah.
it's not going to take long to march downfield and score.
It's true.
And Detroit
then-
has scored off everybody.
But Pat's D might stand up. I'm just saying.
Pats have given up 27 to who? The last 2 games.
No, I watched the Seahawks Lions. I can see where your
Yeah,
thought process
right? I mean,
comes
it's
from. But it's just after a team like a crazy high scoring game, I don't like to take overs. That's just me.
But they've been every
Every
game.
game.
Yeah. So that's my pick, and I would not listen to those 2 guys. I would listen to me, but that's just my opinion.
If you don't want 15-5, I don't know what else to say.
All right.
Is that not?
Hey,
Are you not
quick
entertained?
update: 16 pounds 1 week. 16. Take 3 bags of 5-pound potatoes. That's what I've lost 1 week.
It's pretty solid.
Well done.
Good
I
job.
Well
think
done.
so. I think so.
We're
What was
pulling
the
for you.
over-under? 50?
50. Yeah.
All
But
right.
I
Well,
think
you-
50 can be. I think we're going to go more than that once.
Yeah, that's October.
Haven't been hungry once. I think I might get Awaken 180 to get us a banner in the back here and say, hey,
Yeah, before and after, plus all these winners from
right?
the youngest son. Yeah,
They're sponsoring the Red Sox. They're sponsoring a lot of 98.5. Rem's
Yeah.
Gems needs a little love, especially if you got a client.
After that bachelor party, I feel like I needed a Waken 180 in my life.
Need to regroup. I'm over here. Yeah, I'm still recovering from it. So
Glad fun was
Good.
had. I got
Yeah.
nothing else.
nope. Reid, final takeaway.
Bears 7 and a hook.
Yeah, we heard it.
Fields.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice Bears Raiders parlay. That'd be nice. Both
Oh.
money lines.
Over. Go over.
All right, everyone. Have a good week. Make
Trust
some
the
money, and we
process.
will see you next Friday.
Adios.